Yes, Alex, well, this is the video from the House of Lords that has got everyone talking.
Will somebody please tell us the truth about the European Defence Union? This is by far the biggest issue facing the British public, and they know nothing about it officially. Can we please have a proper account of what it entails? Is it really true that the government has entered into private agreements with the European community, that they will, on completion of Remain, or whatever it is to be, transfer to the European Union in Brussels the entire control of our entire fighting forces, including all their equipment?
Now, in his full statement to the House, Lord James of Blackheath raised many concerns with the possibility of an EU army if Britain weren't to leave the EU. Now, he says that if Brexit falls through, we will have to give over control of all of our armed forces, servicemen and international intelligence services to the European Union, such as MI6 and Five Eyes. Not to mention changing the Pledge of Allegiance to the Queen to one made to Brussels. And finally, he has alleged that UK service members have been over in Europe already setting up intelligence bases that can be used as command and control centres for when the power change comes. Now, this had a lot of people worried on Twitter, including user Darren of Plymouth, who said that the statement is disturbing, adding that he sounds distressed, as we all should be. And this got a lot of traction with over 3,000 retweets and a lot of people engaging with it. However, there were people on the other side of the argument, such as Peter Harvey, who described the as crackpot conspiracies, adding that it's just divisive twaddle from Lord James. Well, after looking into this, we found this is an argument that's come up a lot during Brexit, and especially came around during the campaign in 2016. Now, Full Fact, a fact-checking organisation, had seen this so much that they decided to release an argument about it in July of this year, saying that it is impossible that the UK will be made to join an EU army by force. Now, this is because as the UK is an EU member state currently, they celebrate the idea of having a veto over any legislation posed towards them, especially any that would affect defence and security. Now, this means that the EU Commission, even if they were to introduce legislation regarding the EU army, the UK has the complete option to opt out as a member of the European Union. Now, of course, this raises other questions, such as, is there an idea of an EU army that's actually running around the Parliament that people are looking for? Well, notable MEP Guy Verhofstadt tweeted back in 2018 that he was pleased Merkel and Macron were fully behind the idea of a European army, saying that they fought for it for years and it should be coming in the world of tomorrow. Now, whilst the chances of it happening so far have not come through, as there has been no legislation introduced regarding an EU army, there have been polls taken to see what the general public's backing of the idea would be. Now, in 2017, this poll was released showing that in France, Netherlands and Belgium, 3 key states, along with 4 other EU members, polled 65 to 75% in favour of an EU army being formed. But in the same poll, the UK polled the lowest, saying 39% were in favour, with the rest saying, no, we do not want an EU army. Now, for this to happen, what policies would have to go through? Well, Britain would have to forego its veto if the policy was introduced. Secondly, there'd have to be a referendum. And thirdly, legislation would have to be passed through Parliament, allowing the armed forces to be taken control of by the EU, similar to the process of Brexit. But we asked Lord James if he could back up his statement, and sadly we were unable to get comment from him. However, we did get comment from a press secretary in the EU. Now, they said these statements are false. We're not building a European army. We're investing to make sure that the EU member states have the capability to provide more to their own defence. Well, it would seem that given all the obstacles in the way of creating an EU army, let alone having the UK join it if they were to remain in the EU, are so great that I'm sure Lord James can sleep easy tonight knowing that the armed forces will be remaining firmly in UK control for the foreseeable future.